Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. I caught myself trying to do something to get her in, and it messed my screen up. So um, I'm about to send invites out now. Yeah, I hope you come back in. I hope you people come back in. Let me put myself on mute while I try to get this together. All right, we're gonna try this again. I sent the invite out. Let's see. Hopefully she can get in and get it right this time. And let's see. Hopefully she can get it. She'll get it. Okay.
Okay, you got him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to know what this red dot means.
Okay. So we still at the same place we was at then.
That red dot won't go away. It doesn't do anything when I click on it.
I don't even know what a red dot is.
Me either. I've never seen it before. But
Video call me and let me see what you're looking at.
This is what hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. So you see that red dot up there?
Yeah.
What is that?
Okay. Move away from the screen so I can see something. I need to see the screen. Move over to your left, which will probably be right. Okay, that there. You there. Go over. The one you got them screens at the top. You got open. No, go back to the left. You got two of them screens open, right?
I guess I should close it.
Yeah, one of them. Because I think the other, because you on screen, y'all. What is that? I can't read that. What is it?
What?
What do it say?
It says join.
Okay, all right. Well, don't worry about it then. Leave it alone then. I don't want to mess with that. Go over to your right.
And see this right here?
Right.
That's not what works. What worked was something over here, but it's not there no more. That little box. And you see how it says live 4?
Right.
But that's crazy. I can't get rid of that. No matter how I click on it, you see? I don't know what live 5 means. Right, you see? So now up here where it's saved for the screens.
Right.
So if I click on one of them, it just makes things get smaller. Even if I try to get to the one in the back, it does the same thing. See how I did?
Okay.
Yeah, so the camera thingy that was right up here.
The camera, click on the camera down here to your right. Keep going. Any the camera on that screen? I can't see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Isn't that a camera right there? When you click on that, what happens?
Right. So
what do it say?
That has nothing to do with it. Yeah, that don't have anything to do with things. So you
Okay,
see,
wait a minute. Go over present settings. Let me see that. Present settings
where are you at?
on your screen. You don't see on your screen where it says present settings. You don't see that at the bottom of your picture?
Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
What happens in settings? Nothing.
Okay, click on your camera right there. Camera, yeah.
Oh, look at that. The screen is big. Wow. Well, you're not there. You're not there.
Okay, let me see
That's
the
just
bottom. Let me see the bottom of your page there. Go over some more. Stop right there. Stop right there.
oh God. I don't know what the problem is.
Really,
But like I said, you see that red dot up at the top? This red
yeah.
dot right here? That's
Now
never been there.
that just lets you know you're live.
Oh, okay, because I've never seen that before. That's the first time.
That's because when I sent you the link, you went to StreamYard because I'm on StreamYard. I'm not on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, honey. Now what?
I don't know because I don't understand why you're not getting in.
Because according to this, you see me in here right there. According to this, I'm in. It's just your part here. This little spot right here is where the problem lies, right in here. And one time I was able to get kind of behind it, and it worked. But today I can't get behind it, no matter what I do. Everything I click on, even if I click on the red, it still doesn't work.
Okay, go down, go over to the right. Get with your mouse.
I'm here.
Right here. Okay. Um, right above. Okay, when you scroll down, what happens?
I can only go so far.
Okay, scroll down in the middle. I mean, okay, yeah, right there. What you got?
We're in the show. Everyone can see you and hear you.
What's move your camera over more. The phone, other way.
What's this? What is this right here? I'm about to click on it to see what happens. Share screen. Let's see if that works.
Share screen is what you want to share stuff. I didn't know you had that over there. Oh, that's because you on my what's name. So when you have what I've been sharing my screen doing, you can do it from there because you on my screen, y'all. So I don't have to do all that typing and everything in. You can do it yourself.
Oh, okay.
See where it says share screen? But that's all I be doing. And I put
Okay.
your information up.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know. This thing, we back. Ron said we back live. Yeah, we back live, but we back live, but we ain't live. We back live, Ron, but we ain't live.
And we can't get that. I don't know why that won't go away. This right here. This is the problem. Ah! Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
What did you click on?
That little red thing with the live, I kept clicking and clicking.
Okay, that's what you.
But then, wait a minute. I clicked it several times, but this time I did a double click. That's what happened. I did a double click on this one. Oh. Woo.
Okay, now see if you can share your screen and put your information up.
Oh, no, that's too much tonight. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. We'll just deal with what you have And
I
we'll work on
I
that tomorrow.
lost it. Remember, I told you I had to start over. I lost it.
Oh, I thought when you said start over that you were going to be
I didn't have time to
getting it
go
back.
in and try to do all that.
Yeah.
Ron say, my girl is tuning in tonight. I hope she might not be tuning in now, cause. But let me see. Let me see if I can get your information up. The hold.
It's so crazy. Oh God. Definitely apologize. Oh my goodness. It's so hot. Blazing hot. This is crazy. Oh God. Okay. Oh, bless his heart.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. I'm gonna give you full screen so you can do your opening.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Well, another brutal situation. Anyways, definitely apologize for this technological issues here. I don't know why my computer seems to get into the frame of doing whatever it wants to do when it gets ready. But anyways, so glad you guys have tuned in, and thank you very much for your patience. Tonight, we have a pretty good subject, crumbling down around us. And I got a little bit of a twist I want to add to this situation tonight. I actually want you guys to ride this Midnight Express train with me, and we're going to go across country, and we are going to take a look at the things that we may have missed in our lives with the people that we have been in contact with we have actually spent a lot of time with. And I also want us to think about what we noticed along the way, because a lot of stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight has been going unnoticed. And we need to take a look at that. I mean, we've all heard about it, seen about it, but tonight we're going to ride this train together. And it's dark outside, and the purpose of the darkness is so that way we can put in our minds how we're traveling, how people are traveling. And I also want to talk about the word hopelessness, despair, and desperation. All falls in with this train ride. And I want us to think about feeling hopeless, feelings about desperation, and the measures that you will do when you are desperate. We do a lot of things when we're feeling desperate, but some things can really be detrimental to us. And disparity. We all face disparity, and we all can overcome disparity, but there are people out there that can't overcome disparity. And that's a big thing. We got to make sure we take a look at that. So I want to, I guess, move into my information so that way we can kind of take a look at what I'm referring to while we're taking this Midnight Express. So Top Cat, are you ready to move into that? Okay, good.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Like we wasted so much time, I didn't want to get into a long conversation yet.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
So make sure you make it large enough so it's not fuzzy, so I can read. Like you did last time.
Okay. Let's see. Is this the one you wanted first?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Wow, I shouldn't have turned my TV up. I can't do it. But can you see it good?
Yes, but it needs to be bigger.
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, you made it big last time, which was great.
Hold on, I'm trying.
All right, there you go.
Is that good?
Yeah. Suicide rates rise in the. You cut me off. You got to go back. Okay. Suicide rates rise in the generation of Black youth. Multiple causes underlining distributing tens increase the increase for girls and more than double that of boys for boys. Okay. Oh, this is a rough night. So I don't know how many people are aware of how many of our young Black children are committing suicide. Used to be in the years in the past, it was something that only the white race took part in. But now we are following their trend. In fact, we have surpassed them, which is very heartbreaking to know that our children are feeling so lost out there in the world with no means of figuring it out. So I'm hoping that we can take a look at our children around us. And I'd like to see if anybody out there could figure out a child that may be in that sort of a situation, that is thinking about taking their lives because they feel that this is a situation that they can't turn around. So you can go ahead and roll up a little bit so I can. And I'm not, if this is a lot of information, I'm not going to read it all. Okay, that's far enough. But I just want to kind of put some stuff out there so we have something to think about. And I'm hoping that there are going to be people out there in the audience as we're taking this journey on this Midnight Express, this dark, lonely road. Someone will feel what this is all about and say we really definitely have to do that. I mean, we're always talking about us killing each other in the street with guns, and other people, officers taking our lives, but suicide has not been talked about. And my sister went to a funeral, and it was a 20-year-old young man who had committed suicide. And it came out the blue. No one was expecting it. And it was heartbreaking. The mom was trying to figure out what went wrong. And that's what prompted me to do this whole thing in reference to suicide, because it's out there. And the man that was funeral director, he said he had 20 young men and women in the morgue from suicide. So we got to take a look at that. And it's not talked about, but tonight I'm hoping that on this long, dark journey, we're going to recognize the possibilities of someone who may be in that space. Or maybe your children or your grandchildren will bring something to your attention in reference to what this child is feeling like. So suicide is a devastating problem among Black youths, and researchers and mental health professionals are desperate to understand why and how best to address it. In 2018, studies found, for instance, that Black children between the ages of 5 and 12 are most twice likely to die by suicide as white children of the same age. The urgency to deal with this issue has only grown more acute. A new study found that suicide rates among Black children, adolescents have recently been worsening. Between 2003 and 2017, suicides rose in the group, especially among Black girls, whose rate increase was more than twice as high as Black boys. That within itself was shocking, because from what I have seen, our young Black girls tend to be the go-getters, tend to be the ones that want to excel in life, tend to be the ones who are all about social media and just being the best that they can be, and wanting to carry on and grow up and do the things that they've always dreamed to do. And to hear that the girls are taking their lives quicker than our young men, it's devastating, because taking a life, taking your life, means an end of your possible generation, your opportunities to bring forth children and continue on our race. So that was very scary for me and very upsetting to know that our girls are taking their lives quicker than the guys. So you can roll up a little bit, because I don't want to get into all of the big stuff, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about, hold on a second. Yeah, let me see something here. Let's see. Let's roll up to the finding are deeply concerning. Okay, Janelle Goodwill, a psychologist and social worker of University of Chicago Crown Family School of Social Work Policies and Practices, who was not involved in this research. They also challenged a long-held assumption that suicide rates among young white individuals are higher than those among young Blacks. In September, 8 papers only analyzed data through 2017, so it lacks figures for the COVID-19 pandemic. The CDC studies published in August 2020 reports that the late June of the year, more than 1/4 of the young adults had contemplated suicide within the past year. So there we have a situation where there are kids out there that have thought about it, but they didn't actually go through with it. So that's something that, if we can catch our kids before they go through with it, that would be a beautiful thing. I know several people who have attempted suicide but was not, successful. And I would think that after you attempt to make this sort of a situation happen, I think it will change your dynamics completely in life. I mean, I think that you'll always have something hanging over your head, and it's just a matter of time before something triggers it again. And the next time, you'll be more successful at it. So, and interestingly enough, a lot of this material did not talk about these children feeling unloved. And I found that very interesting because I always thought that, people who want to commit suicide don't feel like they're loved enough. And I'm totally wrong. I am totally wrong because these articles don't talk about love. It talks about being a part of something as far as society is concerned. And I know that social media drives our children into the grave. I mean, drives them literally into the grave to push themselves into a space of doing it. It almost makes me feel like it makes them a hero to a point. And that is not what we want. We want our young people to want to live and be strong. And I know that there are people out here, now that I've talked about suicide, they've heard about it. They may know someone in their family. And if they do know someone in their family, I'd like to hear from them. Because that is like, to me, I think that is worse than your child being murdered, dying from a horrible illness, a young, healthy child just taking their lives. It's got to be devastating. And for a mom or a dad or a sibling to walk into that space and find them. I have known some children, teenagers, that actually hung themselves in the basement, and their siblings came home from school and discovered, their body in the basement there. And that's got to be something that will also scar that child that discovered it. I mean, how could they get past coming home and finding their sibling hanging? And no one ever knows how long it's been. I guess probably with the autopsy would be able to say how long that person had been there. But that doesn't really matter. The fact is that person is now gone. And that's very devastating. So now we not only have a person who has taken their life, but we have other siblings who are going to have to deal with that as well. They're going to have to deal with that as well. And you never know. They may want to follow the leader, so to speak. So we have to be very careful. We got to take a look at our children. And, once again, I'll say, we gotta reach out, and we got to take that time to find out how their day was, what their life is about, how they feel, and is there anything bothering them? Because a lot of times, those are the very questions that can turn the situation around. So it's okay to scroll up again. Let's see what's next.
Walk-in tub.
Well, looking like I need one after all this I done been through today. Suicide among Blacks youths may have been increased for a variety of reasons. For one thing, adversity, childhood experience are extremely high in this group. Okay, so Michael Lindsay, a co-author of a new study, an executive director, we don't need to read all that part. But anyways, experiencing more racial discrimination, which has been linked to an increase of risk of suicide, and they may be traumatized by headlines about deaths with Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, and other young Black individuals. And yes, I can definitely see that, and I can definitely see them saying, "Oh, I don't want that to happen to me." So, you can roll a little more because I don't know how much of me, because there's a lot to read. Hold on, go back a little bit. Okay, it is unclear why the rate of suicides are increasing among Black girls, but Lindsay notes that the discrimination and the sexual violence they experience may increase the risk that they will take their own life. Now, discrimination and sexual violence that they experience. And that could probably be dates, a boyfriend. It could be a situation where we talked about molestation going on within the family dynamics. So that was something that kind of sparked my interest to say that, um, this could happen anywhere. This could happen in school, the sexual violence. Y- Things happen in the girls' bathrooms, in the girls' locker rooms. Um, could be also something that this child may be faced with. So we have to take a look at that. We got to make sure we're keeping up with our children. And this black teen girls also appear to be at high risk for sexual violence in girls in other races. Such violence is known suicide. Such violence is a known suicide risk factors. And then they also talk about depression and anxiety. Those are the things that we don't necessarily think about. We think that our children just had a bad day, but how many bad days are our children having? Because I think about when I was in school, I looked forward to going to school because I wanted to see my classmates. That was a big deal versus learning something. I wanted to see what my classmates had did over the weekend or what they're planning to do when the summer gets here. So all those things weighed heavily on us, but obviously there are some things that probably happen in school, because there is more bullying that goes on, and that's something that we also have to take a look at. Our children may say someone has been harassing them or bothering them, but that parent needs to have that conversation. But I think that parent should go to the school and have a conversation with that teacher and that principal and the parent of the child that has been doing the bullying. I think coming together as a group can help cut down on this abusive situation, because it leads to the other things that we were talking about, the suicide. So can we scroll up a little bit more, because I don't really want to get into all of the dynamics, because I think we could be almost at the end. So yeah, let's roll up some more, but I think we're almost at the end. And let's move to the signs. Yeah, because that's good. We could just
so you're done with this one.
Yeah, because it's such a long thing. I mean, it really is long. But I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a baseline so we can have some open dialogue about this entire situation.
Let's get your comments on here. Okay, no, okay, you got that. Here you go.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah,
okay.
He's gonna agree. Okay, then we go. You want your other one now?
How you doing, Ryan? Yeah. Thank you. It's a difficult night. Okay, so you got to make that bigger. It needs to be bigger because it's really fuzzy. Yeah. Okay, but
bigger?
Yeah, that's bigger. Yeah, a little bit. But you can also roll up some.
Hold on, I can't do it all at one time. I got to make it bigger, then stroll.
You do this all the time.
No, but you can't do it. That you can't do both at one time. You got to make it bigger, take it off, and then stroll.
I'm only teasing you because you always say I should be.
Is that big enough?
Yeah, but roll some more up, because this is only just about the signs. And okay, so we're writing. You go down a little bit more. Go down. Go the other way. Okay, this is good. So as I get finished with this paragraph with while asking is the best way to find out, there are also warning signs to watch out for if you are worried about suicide, including the following: isolation from friends and family. We have children who come home from school and they go straight into their bedrooms. and they stay in their bedrooms, and we're not knocking on the door, opening up the door, and finding out what they're in there doing. That is something that we definitely need to start doing, because obviously this could be a sign. Problems eating and sleeping. Most definitely. There are children who will not eat properly, or they're not sleeping at night. And as we've talked about before, sleeping is a big deal. Sleeping helps you keep your mind level. It helps you to think things out instead of acting hastily. So mood swings. Your child is happy one day, and in a few minutes, within a few minutes, they're angry, or they're throwing things, or they're slamming doors. And then after that, they maybe the next day, they're absolutely fine. Well, typically children are not up and down. They're not up and down. Typically children are in a happy space because they have their friends. They look at us as the enemy a lot of times, because we're the disciplinarians and we're trying to keep them on track and get them to do all the things that they need to do. But at the end of the day, they will always go back and have a conversation with their friends in reference to what's really going on with them. So I think that for me, when we were coming up, our parents got to know our friends. And I've said this before, the parents of the children of today need to get to know their friends and their parents. And that can kind of help keep things glued together versus falling apart. So reckless behavior, that's like, to me, door slamming, forgetting to be responsible in reference to maybe they have some household chores and they're half doing them, or they're getting angry because they have chores to do. Even as far as things that you thought your child valued, they no longer have value in it, which is very strange. You wonder if they're so in love with this, and then all of a sudden, they're throwing it away, or they're just leaving it and don't know where it is and could care less where it is. So we're going to talk about the dropping grades. There are children who definitely will drop grades. And then there are some children who don't drop their grades, but they're still under so much pressure to keep those grades up. So we have to pay attention to that as well. I mean, even though they may not be dropping, doesn't make them happy either. There could still be something going on with them. So an increase of use of alcohol or drugs. Sometimes we, as parents, we have a full stocked bar. And there are children out here that will have fun with that alcohol and fill that bottle back up with water, so you're not missing it. There are some children that will go into their parents' stash of drugs, or they'll go in the medicine cabinet and get into their drugs. So a lot of times it's not necessarily street drugs. It can be drugs and alcohol within the own family. So that's something that we definitely need to think about, because most parents are not going to allow their children to drink when they're underage, and definitely are not going to tolerate them being under the influence of any kind of drugs. But there too, we have parents that get high with their children. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So giving away belongings. They always talk about people who are going to commit suicide. They tend to give away their most valuable treasures. And if that child gives away their most valuablest treasure, that parent needs to ask that child, why did you do that? And see how they explain that away. Because that is definitely a big deal. I think people tend to want to take in the things that they value the most. They want to give it to someone else that they value, and knowing that they were going to take good care of this particular item, whatever it may be. It might be a car, it may be a phone, it could be a pair of Jordans. those sort of things that kids value, because I really don't know how much stuff they do value now. But I know that they do have things that they value. And if it's something that they could physically take and give away, pay attention to that. So, talking about feeling hopeless and trapped. You know, we always talk about the word hope, but the word hope can also change the dynamics of a child feeling hopeless. And we want to give our children hope, because if we don't give them hope, for that particular child, not every child, but for that particular child, that might be the very thing that pushes them over the edge and into a suicide state, and probably being very successful. And also the feeling of being trapped. There's nothing worse than feeling like you have no place to turn. Every which way you turn is a locked door. And I don't mean literally. So, our children can set out to do something positive and they're not successful. They might try out for the track team and they're not fast enough. They might try out for the basketball and they're not successful enough. And those are the things that can help a child take their lives. So, having that support of being able to do what makes them happy, because at the end of the day, happiness brings on prosperity. And prosperity can bring on that entrepreneurship, but it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. Talking about suicide or wanting to die. You'll have children say in the moment of a tantrum, I wish I was dead. Or I want to run away. All of those things are things that make you wonder what really is going on now. Besides just wanting to run away and saying, I want to be dead. And especially if it's coming from a child that is not physically ill. I mean, I can see anyone that's under that sort of circumstances where they're very, very sick. They've been going through cancer treatment. They've had multiple surgeries. They got heart disease. I can see a child saying, this is getting to be too much. I do want to die. But for a normal child, you don't expect to hear them say that. And for the child that does feel like they want to die because of their illnesses, we as a parent have to hug them and tell them, we'll get through this together. We can get through this together. I need you. I love you. I don't want you to leave me like that. So writing or drawing about suicide or acting it out in a play. Well, that's pretty interesting, because writing notes, there's another thing in reference to privacy. Parents need to get in these rooms and take a look at what the children are doing. I mean, you hate to violate privacy, but when they go away to school, if you're suspicious, you need to get in that kid's room and you need to take a look at the material that's there. A lot of times, the parents will find this information right there underneath their nose. And if they catch it soon enough, they may be able to stop it. But a lot of times they don't catch it soon enough because parents are busy living their lives and doing their own thing. And sometimes our children get put on the back burner because of a relationship we're in. Because that is a big deal. Some people put their relationships before their children. That can push them into a space of not wanting to be here. So during this little train ride, I'm hoping that someone out there realizes that, wow, I didn't know that was happening, and I'm going to pay more attention to my environment, meaning my children, my children's friends, even my neighbor. Sometimes they have children who will come over and have a conversation with you. Talk to these kids. Find out where they are, because this is devastating news. I wish I could prevent this from happening, period, with our children. young kids, 5 and 6, 10 years old, committing suicide. Seriously, we have got to get involved in our babies' lives. And once our kids grow up, we still have to stay involved in their lives. We just can't say, okay, they're grown now. We don't have to worry about it. So I'm hoping that tonight we're going to get some good conversation in reference to the act of suicide, period. And the fact that it's falling, crumbling around us. And we don't even realize it. We don't realize how prevalent it is in the Black community, in the Black families. So let's talk about this. Please, let's talk about this. So, Top Cat, how many people do you know that have taken their lives?
You know what? I really don't know any.
Mm-hmm.
And you would be surprised. I mean, the kind of lifestyle I come from, you would think, but no. I know one of my dude's father committed suicide. You understand what I'm saying? But that's pretty much it. I don't know too many people, that have committed suicide. Especially put it this way, not that type of suicide where you blow your brains out. Now I know plenty of them that did it through drugs.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah. But they wasn't trying to, but they overdosed. You understand what I'm saying? So but I'm just, suicide actually trying, I really don't know any of the people that I come up with. Don't get me wrong. I have seen it in them universities. You understand what I'm saying?
So what was the age range?
Well, they was young boys.
Okay.
Came in and got raped. You know what I'm saying? Because their moms made that happen.
So that's that sexual violence that they talked about.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they just couldn't face it. After that happened.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And what can I say?
Well, a sexual assault is very violating. It's very violating. And people who have been sexually assaulted, they manage it in different manners. But at the end of the day, that sparks a situation where in the future, should they fall in love with someone else, and being able to share that experience can be very difficult. And sometimes it is so difficult that they do commit suicide as adults because they've never gotten counseling for rape. And that's something that happens all the time.
Yeah, I would think that would have to be a deep thing both ways, a man or a woman.
Yes.
Really, I think is really not taking it from a woman, but it's really got to be really a really violation for a man. You understand what I'm saying? That's got to be a hard thing to live with.
Definitely.
Man, I just couldn't imagine, wow, that's got to be, wow, that's got to be, when you around that in them universities like that, it don't affect you like that. You understand? Because this is what you're living around. This is what you're living around day in and day out.
Wow.
So you don't even think about it. You understand? You, to be honest with you, I never really thought that hard on it till you just said it. To be honest.
Mm-hmm.
because it's not something that I think about.
Right.
And I think the reason why, I'm talking about for a man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe one of the reasons I don't think about it is because where I come from and seeing it happen was a part of where you lived at.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you got in trouble in a joint, the CEO say mother sucker, where you live at?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what block you live on?
Mm-hmm.
Because you live there.
Mm-hmm.
You live there.
Okay.
You're
Oh,
not
so you're
visiting.
saying within the prison?
Right. When
Oh,
you
I
live
thought
there.
you meant we're coming
No,
in.
no.
Where were they living?
No,
Okay, I get
no,
it
no.
now.
When you're
I didn't know
there,
that.
say if you got
Oh.
in trouble,
Uh-huh.
when that CEO or whoever get ready to write the ticket out, because
Mm-hmm.
you get a ticket for out of place ticket or fighting ticket or whatever,
Oh,
they ask you where you live at.
okay.
And where you live at is whatever cell block you live on or whatever house you live in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? What house, what cell. You dig what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They pretty much don't even ask your name because they're going to get the number off your badge because you're really just a number. They don't even ask your name.
Okay.
They're going to get the number off your badge.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to ask you what house you live at
Mm.
or what block you live on, what
Mhm.
block you live on, what cell. That's it.
Okay.
They don't even ask you your name because your name don't mean nothing.
Well, I would never dreamed. Wow.
Yeah, your name don't. Well, that's. I mean, See, this is what people don't understand when these young boys are going to these places. See, today they totally different. They made it like a playland for them now. That's why it's a revolving door for them now. They go in, it's because I heard they got video games and stuff in the joints now.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? They got video games and all this. I'm like, what?
Mm.
But I seen that change coming when I stopped going. I seen the change.
Mm-hmm.
How they was making it more. How can I say more? I ain't gonna say less violent, but not as hard.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Not as hard. When they started, making the private owned prisons,
Mm-hmm.
you could see how they was changing, making a difference. They when they built the private owned ones, they built them just like the projects. They look just like the projects.
Oh wow!
You understand what I'm saying? To make most of them feel right at home.
Oh jeez.
I'm serious. They look just like the projects.
Mm.
I'm talking about Belmont, Lake Erie. Then was the newer ones, private owned ones. You understand what I'm saying? That I had went through, and I hated them because they were dorms.
Mm-hmm.
And if they like little gladiator schools, that's what they are. They gladiator schools for the young folks, because all they did is fight. All they did was fight. But what I'm saying is that I seen the change. And I seen the change was going to not really prison. It started going to more like this so-called, what they call rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's no rehabilitation. That just changed the name. They changed. You found, if you look it up, when they changed the name, they got more money.
Mm-hmm.
So they got more money for rehabilitation than they did for prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they took the name prisons off them.
Mm.
That's why they took the reformatories off.
Mm-hmm.
No more reformatories, no more prisons.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they got more money to say rehabilitation.
Okay.
They got more money.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a game. It's all about the money. It's all about the dollar, and don't you ever think it's not. Know what country you are in.
You always say that.
Know what country you are in. It's always about the money.
Yes.
Always. Okay, but I'm just saying. But you see, I seen the change.
So now, in reference to the children, I mean, I find it very alarming that our children are following in the footsteps of suicide.
Yeah, that's deep for kids to be. You
Exactly.
wouldn't
Like
think that kids. Man, we were so busy trying to live and have fun every day.
every day. That's why I said
Every,
looking forward to going to school because we
yes,
were going to see our friends. We were looking
yes,
forward to recess, playing
right.
in the gym.
Come on.
But it's a different beast now and
Run
young.
home from school, run home from school real fast, and try to get that homework done real quick so you can get out because you know the sun going down.
Exactly.
So you got to hurry so you can get out the door.
Exactly.
These
Right.
kids now, they ain't no rush to do nothing. They gonna go home and play on the TV, play the game,
Mm.
and they all fat and out of shape and everything else.
Right.
They big and fat and blowed up like the mammoths. Oh, I didn't mistake that.
Now you out of control.
Yes, I am. My fault.
You need a punishment again.
My fault. I let that slip out.
You have to
But
settle yourself down, sir.
yes.
The world is
But
broken.
I'm just saying they have very lack of exercise.
Well, getting to that could be a reason to commit suicide because of how they appear to the world.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I kind of like said that because that has a lot to do with it.
But see, that's the thing. You know, we cannot put anyone in an uncomfortable situation that is going to make them want to take their lives.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
We have to be able to reach out, and if we have a child that's overweight, we need to take that child to the park and make sure they get some exercise so they can start to feel good and take care of themselves.
But think about it though. When we was kids, we had friends and stuff that was overweight and everything.
Mhm.
You dig what I'm saying that to say we was tougher. We was tougher mentally.
I know, but see that's the thing, that the world has evolved
I understand that.
into broadening your lines of communication. You know, the world is pushing to speak your speech. You know what I'm saying? So with all of that, opens up doors and windows of sensitivity. Being able to say as a guy, I can't deal with something, where our parents would say, you better deal with it.
Yeah, that's it. That's
You know,
it. That's it.
you better
That's
deal
it.
with it, or you're
That's
going
right.
to deal with me.
That's it.
But that doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
So
that's
rather than to tell the child you need to toughen up, we're telling them
everybody
to soften
tuning
up.
in. I'm gonna have to shut this down over here on my Instagram. This
We
Top Cat
soften
Raheem,
our children up to a
better
point
known as Raheem the Dream,
that
better known as Top Cat. I
they
want to
can't
thank y'all for
manage
tuning in. Peace and
things
black
that
power.
doesn't go well
Have a
in
great
school.
day.
And that's another thing that we have to think about. You know, we want our children to talk about their feelings, and at the same time, we need to be able to say to them, this is what you need to do. Sometimes our children have to learn how to toughen up a little bit. And at the same time, I'm echoing.
No, that was my phone.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we got to think about that. You know, our children. You know, that was one thing that was a big deal on social media, and being a model, everybody had to be skin and bone. And for those that weren't skin and bone, that was another reason for a child to commit suicide, because they had one little ounce of fat, and society says you don't need that. You don't look nice with that one little ounce of fat. So they kill themselves. So these lines of communication that they're pushing for communication, I myself, I am 100% for communication, because that is the only way we're going to figure out, you know, what our children need. We're going to be able to figure out how they feel, what they want, is a big deal. So we need to take a look at our communication and the way we do communicate with our children, and even how they communicate with their siblings. You know, because kids fight all the time amongst each other. And that parent needs to step in and say, okay, enough of that. This is what we need to do. Sometimes we got to take charge of a situation and not just let it play out in a direction in which it's going to end up being suicide. And like I was saying earlier about our girls, I mean, it's just like it's an unheard of situation, for a girl to be committing suicide. It was always a male thing. And even, as far as adults are concerned, there are more men who commit suicide than women adults. I knew a man who he probably was 27 at the time, and he was distraught, and he made the attempt to commit suicide. He drank a 24-pack of beer. He took a bottle of sleeping pills. He filled his gas tank up, put it in the garage, turned it on, and let the car run all night. And when they discovered him, they were sure he was going to be a vegetable because of all the stuff that he had done to himself. In the hospital for 3 months, and he's out going back to do the things that he used to do in life. And now he has a different outlook on life. He has more of a value to life. He can't believe he was given a second chance. But all of our babies don't get a second chance. And we can only gather data from the people who were not successful or the ones who attempted to do it. But the person that was very successful, that's a door that has been closed for life. We will spend a lot of time, years of trying to figure out why and what actually happened. And that's the part that's even sadder, is that, for the babies that were very successful and possibly may have changed their mind at the last second, but no one was there to do anything about it. Successful. And there's nothing worse, I would think, than a person wanting to commit suicide and the last thoughts are, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But it's too late. And we got to stop this before it's too late. This is a situation that's just very personal for me, very heartbreaking, because I don't like to see young lives lost, especially through taking their own lives. That's a big thing. And we need to stay on top of that. So Ron says parents need to spend a lot of time and guide their children. Very true, very true. And we can't seem to get that time in with our children.
You have to remember, not remember, but, you have these sisters raising these babies, and, some are working 2, 3 jobs. You understand what I'm saying? They're not there. The older siblings are stepping in, trying to do what they can do. You understand what I'm saying? So, I understand it is the parent's job. I'm not trying to take anything from that. But,
having a man in the house makes a difference.
But a lot of them don't have one. That's what I'm saying.
And that's why I said
conversation. That's why I said single. You understand what I'm saying? And they would be the same woman that say they don't need no man.
Well, odds are, referencing that, they're clearly not thinking that they have a child in their house that may commit suicide.
Well, a lot of times it's because that's their selfishness.
Well, I'm not going to say selfishness, because if the black man is not...
Okay, let me say this then. Self-centeredness.
If the black man is not...
Self-centeredness is like a little 2 different things, but go ahead.
But if he's not there, the options are really, really small. And we have to do what we need to do, okay, through that process. If the man is not there, we have to do what we have to do to carry on in life. No one's going to give us a free ride. No one is going to give us a free ride. Nobody. So we do have to go to work. But we also have a time, even if it's just on the way to school. If you're a parent who take your children to school in the morning, there's that time for conversation at that point. Or There's that time when if the mom is at work, the child could call the mother while she's at work on her break and have a conversation. I mean, there are several ways that we can communicate with our babies to find out where they are. And the teachers that are involved in their lives should be paying attention, should be paying attention to this child. They should be able to be trained to recognize this sort of behavior in children that don't seem to be pulling themselves together. I mean, I think about, children losing a spouse, a parent at a young age. That's devastating. That is hard for a child to comprehend. My mom is dead or my dad has died. And if there's no one there to help them through that process, they can very well say, I want to be with them. I want to be with them. So our children are suffering, and that information, there's plenty more out there. That was just a little bit of what I saw in reference to there's more of it going on now than it's ever been. While they're trying to figure out why and what are the causes.
They said that social media has a lot to do with it.
And I was about to get to that, was my next conversation, social media. But there you see, we have to limit social media.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who, when their children come home from school, the phone goes in this basket until tomorrow. And I think that's a very good way to curb social media behavior, is to take that phone when the children come in. And even if it means putting it under lock and key until the next day. I mean, you find children sitting at the dinner table, at the restaurants, with social media. And I think that we as parents have to shut that stuff down. And especially if we're not the parent that wants to get on that phone to see what they're looking at. So if you're and I'm going to say you're lazy. If you're lazy in that area, you need to have a box. Everybody put their phone in until tomorrow. Put them on a charging station, and we'll deal with this tomorrow. Pick your phone up for school. But I think when they come home in the evening time, there shouldn't be no social media. There should be homework. There should be a conversation amongst each other, the family, the siblings, talking about their day and how things went. Everybody get a chance to share something. That'll help us cut down on some of this isolation, no communication. I didn't see it coming because we're not looking for it. We're not looking for it. And as parents, we have to learn how to look for things. We have to notice when our child is in a different space. We know our kids, but do we know them well enough to know when they're in trouble? That's a big deal, and we've got to figure that out. We have got to figure that out. It's important. So this long train ride, we've gotten across country, and we've talked about suicide at an alarming rate. And down this dark road, we can realize suicide only takes 1 minute. It doesn't take hours. It can happen in 1 minute. We were able to travel across country and back within the hour. And we've seen and we've heard, and some people have a person in their family that actually did commit suicide. Mike says, hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on, my brother? Well, baby, we've been on here an hour and 10 minutes. And,
I know, this is, we wasted so much time with this
but it don't
computer
matter.
thing.
You got it in. You got
But
it
yeah,
in.
and the next time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double click really fast on that live thing. And I've never done that before. That was an experiment, and that worked.
Right.
So,
Okay.
will it work tomorrow or
Well,
Thursday?
yeah.
Who
Well,
knows?
we'll see. We'll see. But
This is
this is
so
the Few the
crazy.
Proud, that's for real TV, right? Black got you, and I gotta get ready, get out of here. You know, I got to get up in the
I
morning.
know.
You know, so I'm gonna let you do your closing though.
Okay.
I will do that.
All righty. Okay, everybody. Thank you for taking this train ride with me. And I am hoping that there are some people out there that had the opportunity to think about some things and realize how suicide is a big deal in our families, in our communities. And we got to do something about that. We cannot go on knowing that this is going on with our children. This is something that has never been, and it's becoming a bigger deal than we could ever imagine. And for those parents who have had to deal with a child that committed suicide, of course, my heart bleeds for them. For the mother who discovered them, for the sister or the brother that discovered them, or the father that discovered them, my heart bleeds for them. And that's a death, that's a loss that you will never get over. It's impossible to get over because you will also start to think about, what could I have done differently? What could I have done differently? You'll spend your whole life going right back to, what could I have done differently? So we want to stop that. We want to try to get closer to our babies because they are our futures. They are our futures, and we want strong, healthy Black women, Black men. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, I apologize for this crazy computer situation because this is getting to be too much to tell the truth. But I'm going to keep trying, and we're going to teach this computer it doesn't have its own mind somehow, some way. Anyway, you guys thumb up the video. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting here lately. And hang in there with us. We're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
All right, this is the Few the Proud, up for real TV. I'm gonna go through my little spiel. If it's your first time coming, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah.
I done got so I don't even feel like even telling nobody to thumb nothing up.
Oh, no. Listen, no. That's
Thumb up the video, thumb up the
not it.
video, thumb up the video. Hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, share, subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. And peace and Black power. I'm out of here. Everybody have a great evening.
Okay, good night.